How to find your tribe in the homeschooling community. Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm probably a lot like you, a hesitant homeschooler. I did not picture myself homeschooling. So 2 years ago, I set out on a journey to learn all about homeschooling because I realized the traditional school system just wasn't for us. But I didn't know how to sew or whittle. So I wanted to learn all about it and see if there was a place for me in this homeschooling world. Turns out, after 2 years of interviewing homeschooling families all over the world, I have discovered that yes, there is a place for me in it and a place for you too. And I quit my government job to fully embrace the life of a homeschooler. And now I am here to tell you everything that I have learned in the last 2 years. So let's break it down. How to find your tribe in the homeschooling community. It can be a little intimidating, right? You show up to a play group and you're like the new homeschooling mom, not really sure what you're doing, and they're all there with their organic sourdough. Hide your baggie of peanut butter and jelly. Hide your baggie sandwich with turkey and cheese, okay? Don't bring it out. Don't bring it out. Just kidding. They're probably going to be cool with it, but you will learn over time, as I did, there's healthier ways to live life. So don't be intimidated. Now, where do you even find these groups, right? Let's start with online resources, Facebook groups. As much as I don't want to support Mark Zuckerberg, I have to say, Facebook groups are where you want to start. You really have Facebook groups to thank for the ease of homeschooling. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. You have made the life of a homeschooler so much easier. So you can search for local homeschooling groups. You can use keywords like your city homeschoolers or homeschooling meetups in and put your state. Okay, and then you'll find what's going on to you. Read through the comments, look at the posts, see what kind of meetups they have going on, how active the group is, and if the overall vibe aligns with your values and interests. And you can also use other platforms. Check meetup.com, Nextdoor, or local community websites. You could also check with your library or local churches. Okay, there are going to be some different types of homeschooling groups, so keep this in mind and think about what you are looking for. Co-ops is a very popular one. These are more structured, often with classes, parent involvement, and sometimes a religious affiliation, but not always. There's also park meetups. This is one that we like to do on Tuesdays. This is very casual, come and go style, great for younger kids and parents to connect. There's also field trip groups. These are organized trips to museums, nature outings, or historical site visits. These are great. We have them in our area. However, after going to a couple of them, I have decided I don't like field trip meetups. Reason being is you get so many kids all together and they just want to play. And you've spent money and time to bring them to a place that you would like them to get some sort of educational benefit from, but all they want to do is play and roughhouse. So for having a 6-year-old boy, I have learned if I want to do, say, the Dr. Seuss Museum, I'm going to do that on our own or with one friend, not 50 homeschoolers. However, if you do want to get them together in big groups, you can do the house-based groups. Some families host regular get-togethers right at their house. These are for learning, play dates, or even book clubs, or even to play board games. You can also look for specific niche groups. So these would be interest-based communities like unschooling groups, nature-based homeschoolers, game schooling groups, or STEM-focused meetups. So there's all different types depending on what you're looking for, and you might want to look for a combination because it's always nice to have options. Give different groups a fair chance. You might not feel an immediate connection, and that's okay. Keep attending for a little while to see if friendships develop. I felt this a lot in the beginning, and I get it because now that I've been doing it for a couple of years, when people drop in casually, you often don't know if they're there to stick around or check it out, or if they're serious about homeschooling, or if they just have the day off and we're looking for something to do with the kids. So understand that you might not be welcomed with open arms at every group on the first time, but as you continue to show your face and they get to know you and your kids, chances are if a connection is going to be made, it will. Also, keep in mind that groups evolve. New families join all the time and dynamics shift, kids get older, so consistency can pay off. Just because your kid isn't getting along with their kids right now, it might just be because they don't know each other that well. But as they get used to each other and everyone gets to know each other better, you might really be surprised. Real friendships might actually form from there. Have multiple social options. Don't rely on just one group. Try a mix to meet different families. So maybe you do one group a week that meets at parks and maybe a different one that meets at a house, and maybe you do one co-op. All right, that's a lot. But if you want to try to find where you fit in easily, that might be the best option. Your kids may enjoy one setting like a structured co-op while you prefer another, a more casual park meetup. And if your child is anything like mine, he's very intimidated when he goes somewhere with a group of kids. So it often does take a lot of time to have him warm up. For the first couple of years, he would shy away completely and go off by himself or play with a younger kid. But these are all learning experiences too. Don't let that discourage you. There's nothing wrong with your child. I started to realize that my son just likes to be the dominant one. When he was with a one-on-one friend, he liked to take the lead. So when he was with a big group, he usually wasn't the leader, and that bothered him. So he would find a group that he was the leader in or just play by himself, which bothered me more than it bothered him. Like, I remember driving an hour to a park and all he did was play with some kid that was half his age there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we could have done this at the park down the street. You didn't play with any of the kids that I brought you here to play with. But, you know, they're growing, they're evolving, they're learning what is comfortable for them. So don't get too worried or too discouraged. The more your kid is around these other kids, the more they will all warm up to each other and find what really makes them happy and how they play best. Expanding your network helps build a stronger support for you and social opportunities. And what you'll find is that maybe your kids like the kids in one play group for things like fishing, and in a different play group, they like them for other activities like Lego building. And the same thing for you. I know in the one group that I'm in, I learned so much from these people because they're all homesteaders, they've got animals, they grow food, and I'm always learning stuff from them. So that's been really cool for me. So definitely take your time getting comfortable with these groups. And if you find that there just is no place for you, start your own group. It doesn't have to be complicated. Weekly park meetups, a monthly field trip, game nights, or a board game meetup for game schooling, a nature club for hikers or for outdoor play, a book club or a learning pod at someone's house. Post in existing groups and find like-minded families. You can also utilize other community groups. Look beyond traditional homeschool groups. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Trail Life, or you could use your sports team or a rec center. Many have homeschooling friendly daytime options. Your church group or faith-based meetup, if that aligns with your family values, or library events. Many offer homeschooling days, STEM workshops, or storytime sessions. Finding your homeschooling tribe takes time, but it's worth the effort. Be open to different types of friendships and communities. The more you put yourself out there, the easier it will get, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming content. And don't forget to check out my podcast, The Homeschool How-To Interviews with Homeschoolers. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video where I will chat about world schooling. Ooh.